Yo, what's up, guys? It's X, aka Ball out here, and today I want to conclude the ladder series with a finale. And I reached number one with my lead Dragonite Focus Sash team. This was my second attempt at it. The first time I was able to peak at 1684, but then I got counter teamed by someone who had faced me like 5 times in a row, but we'll go over that later once I go over the team and it's what it's good at and some of its weaknesses. So, yeah, if I had just waited here for like 30 minutes, uh, this guy who was number one would have decayed and I would have been number one. So basically, we reached number one with this team uh, twice, and both times it was just one day of playing. It wasn't over like a week or anything. It was just maybe like a little bit in the afternoon, then more at night or something, or more in the afternoon and playing some games at night. And I think the reason why is because this team really excels on the ladder. It's a very good team. It's pretty damn good. Like I feel like it's hard to lose with it, honestly. There's a time where I don't think I played much DPP because I was really busy with school and I just played one a day and I must have gotten on like a 25 or 26 game win streak, something crazy. It's probably lower than that. It's probably like, I don't know, but the point is, I think this team is extremely consistent on the ladder. I also think that the general idea of a Focus Sash Dragonite is very good, and it's something I've used in BKCPL. So yeah, let's go over the team. Yeah, someone said it's a meme set. Uh, sure. Some people like to use Lumberry or, Yachi Berry or whatever. Like Lumberry Sub is a really good set, but Focus Sash is great because think about it. If you're facing Azelf, they don't know if you're mixed um, Dragonite or not. So they're pressured. They don't want to taunt you because then they're gonna get Dracoed and E-Speed. So you can get a free Dragon Dance if they're too scared to taunt. If they do taunt you, it really doesn't matter because you can just click Outrage. Then you live the boom and you're on one. Then they have to, maybe they have the hazard advantage, but then they have to bring something in to kill your Dragonite so you get some good info on their team and then you get to choose what you want to put in. So like let's say for example, they bring in Lucario to like, I don't know, E-Speed your Dragonite, even if it's not +1. Then you get to choose, okay, well, since it's Lucario, I can pick, all right, what do I want to go into? You could go into Jirachi and just click Fire Punch. You could go into Gyarados, lower its attack, shoot off a free waterfall. You get my point. You get momentum going. So that's kind of Azelf, but I guess this scenario though where they don't taunt and you are +1, if they're running Bulky and Lumberry, you kill them. If they're running Sash, wait, if they're running Sash, then they boom on you and you're at 1. And pretty much the same scenario I just described comes into play, except it's really different. Except they need to kill you with priority, Tyranitar Sand, or a Scarfer. So it's really good info because let's say they have to trade you out with a Scarfer, you're getting so much info on their team, right? If they bring out a Flygon or a Scarf Lucario, then you're kind of putting them into this very reactive state of gameplay when you're being the proactive one. That's kind of the way I look at it. And a lot of people comment about how, or not a lot of people, but someone I was talking to was saying, I can't really get lead Dragonite going. I can't really, it feels hit or miss. And I'd say the reason for that is you haven't looked into all the different possibilities of the lead matchup and what you should be doing. Because a lot of time players, let's say you do Dragonite or you do Dragon Dance up on the Pokemon, whatever lead it is, like it's a mental game. You like let's say they have a Skarmory in the back and they're leading with Scarftar and they set up rocks on you. You have to expect that they're going to switch in Scarm, so you can't click Outrage. You should predict the Steel type switch and click Fire Punch because a lot of times people are going to try to bait you into clicking Outrage into their Steel types or whatever, or just switch in a Fortress. Um, yeah, so again though, I think them having to do that, that's putting them in a bad situation because they're on the back foot. You're the one in control. For example, if you click Fire Punch into a Scarf Tar locked into Stealth Rock, you're not losing anything. So I'm just trying to gather my thoughts here. But let's talk about the Metagross lead situation. Typically, how I like to play it is I really just want to click Earthquake twice. That's about it. Mash BP, mash attack raise. Like, I just want to get damage on Metagross rather than get mashed and bullet punched. Aerodactyl, I like to click Fire Punch first and hope for a burn. And then I can click Outrage because you do have a Focus Sash, so you don't really have to worry about Stone Edge. And it's the same situation where, yeah, sure, they get up rocks and you're locked. This one's probably worse because you're locked into Outrage, but they can bring in like a Jirachi or whatever, Calm Mind setup if they want. So that's like Arrow is probably not the best lead we want to face. Next up, let's go over Gyarados. So this is one of my favorite Gyarados sets. It's not good for longevity, but dude, look at my team. Like, this is just pure offense. So its main role on the team is actually to counter Breloom. And thinking about it, the Choice Scarf Breloom team also had kind of low-key a dedicated Breloom check. Not really, but this one, like, because I had Metagross mid-game rocks Lumberry as well to like explode on the Breloom. So not really a check, but it's nice to have that Lumberry if you're switching in and they switch into Breloom. So I have Taunt to taunt Skarmory because as you can see, this team is extremely weak to both Spikes and Skarm. Obviously not the Flygon, but yeah, so I need something to handle Skarmory so I can taunt on it, set up Dragon Dance. It's not optimal that I'm Lumberry and leftovers, but you have to make some trade-offs. So there's been times with this team where I just instantly lose to Skarmory, let's say, because they have rocks up and I can't keep switching in my Gyarados and also the Sandstorm. If I'm facing like Hippo, Skarm, it can be kind of tough. So that's definitely a pretty big weakness to this team. Um, but yeah, if if I'm in on Breloom, I can switch, or if Breloom comes in, I can switch in Gyarados. You know, take the Spore, the Lumberry. If I think they're gonna Spore again, I can Taunt. If not, I can just click Outrage. So it's pretty good for getting some damage onto Breloom. I guess it's not fully a check, but it doesn't, like if Breloom comes in, I'm not losing momentum by having to sleep sack something. That is something that happens with the lead matchup, though. I definitely, if it's Smeargle or Breloom, I do have to sacrifice something as a sleep sack. And I think the best sleep sack is probably Dragonite. Moving forward, though, we got Metagross. This is pretty standard, like max HP, your typical mid-game rocks Metagross. It's very nice to have for, the Latias or, stuff like that. Jirachi, this is pretty standard. Mixed attacking Jirachi, probably my favorite Jirachi set. I just, I don't know, man. I'm not the type of guy that likes to parahex people behind a substitute and click Iron Head a million times. Um, I mean, of course, I do flinch with Iron Head, of course, but I prefer seeing like Ice Punch doing a shit ton of damage to Latias or killing a Swampert with Grass Knot that doesn't expect it. Then we got Dragon Dance Tyranitar, which is a really important piece on this team because my team is pretty weak to Heatran, especially if, let's say in the end game, they have Heatran plus maybe their own Flygon or a Scarf Latias or something. It's pretty vital that I have Tyranitar to, deal with the Heatran. Because otherwise, Jirachi, I mean, Gyarados is going to be weak to rocks, can just boom on the, like, Gyarados, but then it dies. But typically, Gyarados doesn't make it to the end game for me. I like to, I like to save Tyranitar for end game and, have Gyarados do some work. But it really depends on the game. And then we do have Flygon. The way I use Flygon on this team is I try not to reveal it. I like to use it as kind of an end game sweeper with, not sweeper, but you know what I mean, like clean up. It doesn't hit the hardest, but I'm hoping that my teammates can this isn't Valorant. My team can, do a lot of damage and set up the Flygon for success, but also obviously it's to check DD Gira, which is a huge threat to this team. Um, Dragon Dance Tyranitar, and then their own Flygon too, of course. Or not Flygon. I guess their own Dragonite. But I guess it is good for Flygon too, just in those speed tie scenarios. So I guess some other weaknesses I noticed about this team is it's extremely weak to Raikou. Just think about it. If you have a Thunderbolt, Aura Sphere, Hidden Power, Ice Raikou, well, it's not coming out yet, but for example, like let's forget the Focus Sash would kill this, Metagross, I have to get rocks up. So Metagross is taking damage, so it's gonna be at like 50%, right? So then he can just click Thunderbolt and kill it. Jirachi, I can't really do much on it. I mean, I can't body slam it and flinch it. Um, and then Tyranitar is going down. So my only real way to get rid of it is just clicking Earthquake with Flygon. So that is a massive issue for this team is the, Raikou. And funny enough, there was someone who was low 1600s, mid 1500s who kept running this Raikou Heatran team that was just it was tough to deal with. Um, I think that was like one of the few people I was losing to. We traded games back and forth, but it helped me to learn how to play this team better. Like for example, there's this one scenario where they had Heatran, Scissor, and Flygon, right? And I had Flygon, Tyranitar, and Jirachi, I believe. So my Flygon was out, and they clicked Earthquake, but I switched in my Flygon. So I'm thinking, all right, I got this in the bag. I click Earthquake. I take Scissor down because Scissor was low, or I kill Heatran. But they just stayed in and kept on clicking Earthquake. And I thought they were just BMing me at first. I thought I had the game won because, I made the outplay, but no, they actually PP stalled me. Because think of it, I can't switch in my Tyranitar or Jirachi into an Earthquake. That's just going to lose me the game. And if I click Outrage, he's got 2 steals. So yeah, Scissor is definitely not appreciated by this team either. I have some Pokemon to deal with it, obviously, but I have to be conscious of the end game and making sure that I have Jirachi preserved or say like Gyarados, or I can move on to Metagross, something like that. Let's see. Is there any other things I should say about this team and the weaknesses or anything like that? Yeah, there is one more thing. So, yeah, so like I said, first day I was trying out this team again. We were able to get to 1684 like pretty quickly. Like I don't think I lost to anyone really except for one person who kept on using double bulky waters, a fucking Gyarados. So it was 3 water types, and then Lucario, Flygon. I'm forgetting, but it was impossible to win that matchup. Like it was so bad for this team because we, you know, Dragonite dances up. It's just not like bulky offense. It's just brutal for this team. I think it really depends though. I think versus a lot of bulky offense, it can do super well, but just that team was just like a Swampert of really bulky ass Suicune, like was so good into my team, like really tough to deal with. And then also like Lucario was super good with those bulky waters. So man, that was rough. I'm trying to remember which other Pokemon he was using, but yeah, I couldn't take a single game despite knowing their entire team, you know. So I mean, honestly, I think that was just a brutal matchup. So that's one thing about this team is it does super duper well against like those kind of like Ho-Oh builds of like Azelf and stuff. Um, but I think it can be pretty rough against Stall. I don't think it's super skewed in Stall's favor in every case. Like you can outplay and you can beat Stall. Um, but yeah, man, geez, like bulky water offense teams, like pretty brutal. So yeah, that's all I got for the team analysis. I guess I've talked so much about what's rough for the team. I'll say what's great about it is that you keep momentum up all the time. You can bring in a Scarf Flygon to help you out if you need it. You can I don't know how to say it. Like it just always feels like you're in the driver's seat with this team, like you're playing your game, you're not playing the opponent's game. And that's what I like about it. It's very easy to get wins with. And it's the interesting thing about it, I don't really find it super often that it's like, oh, I won this game because I got Tyranitar to +1 or +2 and I swept or Gyarados. It seems like every single member of this team plays a super huge role. Like for example, Dragonite, like if I get 2 down with Dragonite, I know I'm chilling. Like that's another thing that's amazing is if you play Dragonite correctly in the lead slot and you win the lead game, bro, you are just going to own with the rest of your team. Um, the trouble is though, if you like, let's say you do run into that bulky Suicune and your +1 outrage doesn't even do much, and you just died Ice Beam. It's kind of your momentum is kind of stunted. But yeah, I really like this team. Super fun. It's not perfect. It's flawed. Sometimes, you know, Sash Dragonite, you don't get the most value out of it. All right, let's get it. Replays. So something I should mention is that for about maybe a month or a couple weeks, not a month, a couple weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I was just playing ladder with zero goal in mind. I didn't want to play with any of my comfort teams. I didn't want to play with any of the standard stuff that I played. I played a lot of stall. I played a ton of random ass teams that I built, like Choice Scarf Celebi with Spec Starmie lead, Choice Band Azelf lead, which is something I don't normally run. Just trying to build a shit ton of teams, like using like Magneton, Scarf Magneton, Lucario, Gengar, Heatran, which is like that sounds pretty standard, but I was trying to switch up my playstyle a bit, trying out different ideas, um, with no real goal in mind, just trying to have fun. And I think I dropped to like 60 fucking 4 GXC on my main account because I wasn't trying to win. I was just testing out teams. I was just trying to, hone my skills with stall a little bit more. I wasn't, you know, trying to climb the ladder. I didn't really care too much about the points. I was playing on my iPhone. I was building teams on my iPhone. Like, so, but I think that's a huge reason why when I went back to my comfort team, it was just so easy. And I think I had learned a lot as a player and improved quite a bit due to, kind of getting out of my own comfort zone and trying to build more. So, yeah, let's go over some of these replays real quick. First, I should shut off the sound, mute these, so go. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to try to build more teams and do like, creative stuff like Nasty Plot Celebi or using Protect Kingdra as a lead. Just switching up the playstyle. So let's start it off with Shane. So we had played before, so I did know what he has on this team. I know it's a Milotic Skarmory. So Dance Up, Scarf Tar because he moved first. So I click Fire Punch right here. Yep. I did know that he had Skarmory in the back though, so and, yeah. He goes into Melodic, click Fire Punch again. We get a crit, which is unlucky for Shing. I guess, that's kind of what happens though when you're being proactive, you're just clicking moves. Shit like that will happen. Like I I believe on my run to like 1684, I must have gotten like 3 or 4 freezes with my Jirachi clicking Ice Punch. Like that shit was crazy. But then I dropped down to like 1500, 1480, and then climbed back up, and I didn't get any freezes. So yeah, I see how he has to bring in his Scarf Lucario, and he's put in a really bad position now because now I can just bring in Gyarados and Dragon Dance up, and I can just click Outrage here. He's gonna switch in Skarmory though, which is a good move by him. But again, he has to bring in his Lucario, and he's, he's constantly reacting and he's reacting to what I do. I'm setting the tempo. He's, like, and I'm not saying that because of like I'm just saying that because I've experienced it too, where I'm using Scarf Lucario and I'm just reacting to people using Dragon Dancers, and I don't think it's a good position to be in because you're playing too defensively. Whereas, not to say that Shing is playing too defensively here. He got an unlucky crit on his Milo, so. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is I've noticed I haven't done well with teams where they're reactionary based, so they're designed to be kind of like, okay, let's have a check for Tyranitar and let's have a check for Gyarados. I think I've done well with the teams that have those checks already in place, but they're also looking to put on pressure and make their own moves. Because I'm not saying stall is bad either at all. I think stall is very good, but there's a difference between bringing in your scarf or getting in locked into a move versus bringing out your Clefable into a surf from a Suicune and knocking something off, right? Because you're locked in now, and now I just get to set up again and take something out. Although this is going to be a speed tie, so he does win it, but it's still not enough. If he had superpower there, he would have taken me out. Another speed tie, and I decided to go into my Flygon here. I guess I wanted to keep Tyranitar as a sacrifice, so I can just U-turn and switch in my Tyranitar. Yeah, so click surf, so I'm assuming that this is gonna be specs, but it's not. It's actually looks like it's expert belt. I click meteor mash there. I guess I'm wondering maybe I should have boomed, but I think I wanted to just stay in. It does prove to be the right play because that does not take me out, and I'm able to get up stealth rocks, and he dies to the sand. So that was well played. I like that mash instead of boom play because now it's a sacrifice, and he has to like take it out, and I can I can live a close combat and click fire punch because like why would I bring in Flygon and click earthquake when this could be something that's has levitate or so I take the close combat and we take down the Choice Scarf Lucario, and he brings in Gengar. So exactly. So if I stay in there as Flygon and click Earthquake and I get rid of his Lucario, then I would still have Jirachi for the Gengar, but I would have to switch in my Jirachi. I'd have to take a hit. Or if he subs, then I think I still would have won, but it wouldn't have been as clean. Yep, GG Shing. I think that's a rough matchup. And I also we knew each other's teams because we played each other before that one. All right, next up, this is someone I was playing a lot who, um, we traded some games back and forth on the high ladder. So yeah, Uxie lead. I'm just gonna Dragon Dance up and damage something that comes in, brings in Milotic, and I get Parahaxed, which sucks. Considering he's just gonna Ice Beam, I want us to just switch out into Metagross. And I get up my rocks, and he's gonna get up his rocks here, and I'm just gonna click Explosion. Maybe, maybe it's best to preserve the Metagross, but considering this Uxie just wants to click Thunder Wave on stuff, I think it's better to just get rid of it, so that's what I do. In comes Scissor, I go into my Tyranitar, and this is where I read the U-turn and just click Fire Punch. Nice. Brings in his Milotic. There's, it's offense. Why would I switch out, right? But it is offensive Milotic, so Hydro Pump does take me down. So I go into Jirachi to chip it down with Iron Head a bit, and then click Grass Knot, and holy, that must be specs, bro, because that just took me out. Yeah. Let's check calc. Are you? Oh wait, I'm not on the right thing. There we go. Uh, Jirachi, mixed attacker. Yeah, yeah. That's definitely choice specs, and not only that, he got the max roll. Let me check the calc. Oh yeah, he got the max roll. So that's unlucky. Max roll is 94%, and he got it. That's a chance of a max roll. Like, where do I check? Whatever. Yeah, so unlucky, but can bring in the Gira. And yeah, we played so many times, I just had a feeling you would be going to Flygon, so I just clicked Outrage. Brings in the Raikou and takes me out. I mean, I don't have anything for the Raikou. Like, there's no point. So now I just go to Flygon and click Earthquake. And after, oh no, I U-turn actually. Interesting. Oh, because he has Shuka Berry, so I have to U-turn to wear him down a little bit. And now Dragonite's down. So yeah, that was a good U-turn. And we know his last is Heatran. See, I still remember after playing this guy so many times. And my Lodic's gonna die after rocks, so it's perfect. And GG. Alright, opponent gets frozen here. This is from one of those earlier runs that I did. So it looks like Choice Scarf Jirachi lead goes into Zapdos. I just click Outrage, able to tank the HP Ice and get rid of the Zapdos pretty early on, and that's great. Great for our team. Brings in Scarfrachi and Ironhead, so that's a perfect time for me to go into Metagross and get some rocks up. Brings out Starmie, but there's really nothing for him to spin for anymore. That Zapdos is gone, right? So why not just boom? Do click Earthquake though. Now Thunderwave. Now I click boom. Nope. Go for rocks again. Best move in the game. And now I boom. Okay. The way I see it, like Metagross is pretty nice to have for the Jirachi, but also I don't really want a Thunder Wave, bulky Starmie to deal with, so maybe I should have gone into Tyranitar on those rapid spins, but I prefer to keep Tyranitar for the late game. All right, so we got tricked into Choice Scarf, and man, why Ice Punch when I have Fire Punch? That doesn't make any sense to me. It must be because this Jirachi Zapdos Starmie structure always has like a Breloom and a Heatran. So I was probably expecting Heatran and I just wanted to click Ice Punch to meme or something. Or if the or I was expecting to get flinched. I have no idea. But the Jirachi does get frozen. But again, this just goes into my philosophy. Like, it is hacks, yes, it's unfortunate. But you know, I don't know, man. Like, just being on the offensive, clicking moves, it works wonders sometimes. Okay, kind of missed it. Here we go. So I bring in my Gyarados because I want to set up on his Jirachi. And see, there's that Heatran I was talking about in the back. Goes into Breloom, and we Dragon Dance up. Right here, I think the play is to go for another dance on the Spore. We just taunt off Rip though. I don't like that. Because we have the Lumberry, so why not use it? I guess it really doesn't matter though at this point. The game is won, man. Oh my god. And then we crit the Tyranitar, but I guess maybe I wanted to save the Lumberry for after Outrage wears off. So, not a bad play. Oh, and it is Scarf Heatran. Do have the Tyranitar though, so we're chilling. Hmm. I would have just clicked Earthquake, but I guess I was just kind of doing like a victory dance because it didn't really matter. I had Flygon in the back. But imagine if he just unthaws here and takes out my Tyranitar. Wait, no, that would. Wait. Oh yeah, he already tricked his Scarf away. He couldn't beat me. Never mind. Okay, next replay. Let's go. Little perspective change. Actually, one sec. I'm gonna drink some water. So yeah, when it's Infernape, I just click Earthquake. Just because you know Infernape's gonna be Focus Sash. It might be a good time to dance though, because if the Infernape doesn't have HP Ice, it really can't do much to you. But they do often run Fake Out, so. Oh yeah, there we go. So I do Dragon Dance on the switch over to Gengar. Back to Infernape. I click Outrage. Fire Punch. I don't think that's enough. Hang on. Gengar. It was probably an offensive Gengar. Yeah, so Fire Punch does not take out Gengar, so Outrage was, it was, I guess, I'm doing the lead Dragonite thing. Just taking out stuff, chipping stuff for the guys in the back. Get up our rocks, and now we click Earthquake, and now we click Earthquake again. Preserve our Metagross. Good to have against, Gengar and Scissor, but it does run the HP Fire on the Gengar. So I bring in Gyarados, and just considering that it is HP Fire, which is not super duper common on Gengar, I decide to scout and go to Flygon. And yeah, surely enough, does have Thunderbolt. So you turn out of there, going to T-Tar. Just, chip down the Gengar with the Life Orb and the Sand, get it weakened. And now I just stay in, and this guy just over predicts and clicks Thunderbolt. And we just click Crunch. So yeah, I didn't click Dragon Dance because they do have Scissor, so there's no point in me clicking it. Jirachi, so I wanted to figure out, okay, what kind of Jirachi is this? I don't want to just chuck out a Gira or a Flygon into a random move, so I'm fine with losing my Tyranitar considering Scissor will like you have two Mons on the field that will deal with Tyranitar pretty well, so it's okay to lose it. So go into Flygon and click Earthquake. Just because it would do a good amount to Scissor, a good amount to Jirachi. That'll force him to reveal his last. And yeah, brings out the Flygon, no problem. I can go into my own Gyarados. It is a Life Orb Flygon, Mixgon. Interesting. And takes down Gyarados, but that's fine. I now have like all the info on his team, and I know my Jirachi looks really good here. I guess the one concern is his Jirachi though, but otherwise I'm not worried because the Flygon special attack is down, the his attack is down, so yeah, my Jirachi's balling out, max speed Jirachi. Boom. Yeah, now we can just stay in with our shiny Rachi. Shiny Rachi looks so clean, man. And this is where it gets dicey. It's a Wish Jirachi. But my fire punches are doing a lot of damage. So it looks like Wish, but very little HP or defense investment from our opponent here. And we're able to take him down. GG. Alright. So this is standard kind of Roserade team with Heatran, Latias, and Rotom, that kind of thing. And my team just runs over this, like, goddamn. So I go in to get rid of the Focus Sash. Then I bring out my Metagross. Honestly, dude, like, this wasn't necessary. I should have just sleep sacked Dragonite. I was just kind of trolling. And yeah, they eventually just get tired of going for sleep powder. So yeah, I get up rocks. Um, Maybe it would have been nicer to mash there, but getting up rocks is so key. That's unfortunate though. HB fire. Now I switch out because I need this as sleep fodder. So get up the Dragon Dance and I'll click Outrage and get rid of the Suicune here. Suicune does live though and Ice Beams. Suicune's a beast, bruh. That's okay though, that's good damage. And we get rid of Suicune, now they're gonna bring in Heatran, which is a problem for our team. Um, yeah, it's obvious they're just gonna protect, and even if they Earth Power, it's like, whatever, bruh. Now it's Scarf Jirachi. Actually, I don't know if that Jirachi was Scarf. Never mind. It's probably just normal Jirachi. Take out the Rotom. Oh, it probably was, because their Rotom wasn't Scarfed. Back to Heatran, gonna protect, try to, be passive, but I call it out, I just dance up again. Switches out to Latias, and they sacrifice Roserade. Now I get rid of my sack, Metagross, because the Roserade's dead, so I don't need to worry about getting put to sleep. Bring in Flygon here, and, hang on. I just want to understand this. I bring out the Flygon, why? Also, if I'm bringing out Flygon, I should always go for U-turn here. I guess I thought I could just pick off the Heatran with Earthquake and that they'd stay in. Also, maybe I was worried about substitute or something. Yeah, I don't know. Because they didn't Earth Power my T-Char yet. So then I go into Tyranitar and they switch their choice specs to me and they die. Well, now I click U-turn. Yep, there we go. And now we have Gyarados for the late game. And now all I need to do is just click Dragon Dance and I win the game. Even if they Lava Plume me and burn me, I'm fine because I have the Lumberry. Did not get the burn. Yeah, no point in being greedy. I'm gonna just already outspeed the Latias, so don't need to dance up on that protect. And GG. Alright, here we go. Here's a good example of how the team deals with sleep leads. I mean, I guess we saw it last game, but this game was a good one. Yeah, so I just decided, alright, let me just sleep water this Dragonite. I go into Gyarados though off the bat and get pretty aggressive here. Chip down the Breloom and yeah, that crit did matter. So I remember in that moment I was like, God damn it, really? No problem though, we can get up our own Stealth Rocks here. And this is gonna be a mixed Dragonite. They do miss the Fire Blast though, so guess that makes up for it. Yeah, now we bring in our Jirachi versus their Jirachi, and I know I'm gonna be faster because they're Stealth Rock, so yeah, just seeing that 42% damage, oh man, it's fire, no pun intended. So yeah, we'll take down his Jirachi, Breloom. Yeah, it's named Ryo Tenkai, because like, this Jirachi is like a JJK character, it's like Yuji just throwing hands. They bring out the Gengar, and my Jirachi is low as hell. I have no choice but to just take the Shadow Ball. Alright, so we bring, their Jirachi will die from rocks and outrage, so why not? Let's click outrage. Although they probably do have one more steel in the back, pretty early, right? But all I have is a sleeping Dragonite and Tyranitar, so I guess this is my only answer to Gengar, and yeah, there it is. Metagross, and they just boom. I wonder what kind of Metagross this is. Maybe a Gilligros? So yeah, at this point, I'm like, I gotta get a wake up from Dragonite. I can't send out my Tyranitar into Jirachi and just die. So, luckily, I wake up and I get the Dragon Dance off because I'm assuming they're Dragon Dance themselves and that they would either click Dragon Dance or they would crunch. Yeah, so they click Dragon Dance, but I'm faster, so I just Earthquake and win the game. So that was a very fortunate first turn wake up, but that crit on Gyarados was fortunate too. It's a game of luck. Okay, so here's an interesting replay. So I'm actually facing my own team that someone else is using, and I am using a team that I have just freshly built, a kind of Skarmory Spikes offense without Mixgon and without Tyranitar. So I was trying to experiment, do something new, and I know exactly how he's going to play it. I know he's going to go for a Dragon Dance, so I taunt him, and I just set up rocks because, I'm faster, and yeah, I'll take the fire punches, no prob. Does get the burn though, and because I know he's Focus Sash, I just click Brave Bird so he's not sashed. Being sashed and being such a menacing sweeper slash breaker, I don't want him to have the sash. I think that's more important than the spike. And yeah, we got our rocks up, so job is complete. Go into our Rotom. This is Scarf Rotom, so I clicked HP Ice. I'm expecting Dragon Dance, so I go into my Breloom to Mach Punch the Tyranitar. Good play, going into Dragonite. Here I go into Gyarados to lower the attack. And I take the Fire Punch like a beast. And I'm faster, so I can just, yeah, I was running, this is, by the way, this is completely unrelated to the runs. I was playing on a different account, uh, but I thought it would be cool to showcase, like, myself playing against my own team, and I just ran into them randomly playing it. Yeah, so I sub up on the outrages because they'll get confused, and yeah, get lucky on the confusion. Could go for a dance here and hope they hurt themselves, but I figure, hey, I'm behind a sub. Why not just capitalize and not risk a 50-50? Yeah, they go into their own Gyarados and Dragon Dance up, so I do the same and just click Waterfall because they have to break the sub, and then I win the speed tie and I flinch them, so I got quite lucky. And then I just go for the second dance because, hey, like they still got to break the sub, and then I'll just be faster and be able to take them out. So they bring in Metagross, and that max HP Gross is going to live that and take out my Gira Xbox 360. goated console. So take out the Metagross, and in comes my own Rachi. I want nothing to do with it on this Jirachi. Although I think this Jirachi is the exact same as this one. But I go into my Heatran because I know they're clicking Fire Punch. I want to take like 45% damage and a burn. I'm good. I'm good on that. And yeah, click Earth Power there because I know they're going to switch to Tyranitar. And also, if they do stay in with Jirachi, it'll do some good damage. Also, they would never stay in with just this Jirachi. This Jirachi can do nothing, absolutely nothing to Heatran. I mean, Iron Head, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Grass Knot. You're not doing jack shit. So yeah, just keep clicking Earth Power, take out T-Tar. It's huge. And yeah, call it out. I say, hey, you better click, you best be clicking Earthquake, because if you click Earthquake, I can bring in Breloom and put you to sleep. So I just stay in. Oh, this isn't even a Scarf Heatran. What am I? For some reason, I thought this was Scarf, but no, it's not. Yeah. Yeah, or I could go into Rotom and just click Shadow Ball, but probably go into Loom. Sleep is busted. Alright, back to using the good old team. Let's go our viewpoint for this one. So they immediately switch out Jirachi, and I click Earthquake to get damage on Jirachi. But here's the thing, I predict that they're going back to Jirachi. You know, that sudden switch, I can tell they're just trying to do the bait and switch style of like, alright, let's get them to click Outrage, but I'm not going to fall for it again, man. Hell no. Goes into, look at that. Look at, you know, I know because he's switching out so much. I'm not going to click Earthquake and get, you know, if he goes into Latias, I can at least take it down a bit with Fire Punch, right? So that's why I click it, and luckily it pays off because he's in Scarm, or like if he stayed in with Jirachi, take some damage from Fire Punch. So nice. This is kind of what I mean by Lead Dragonite is a very, it's a mind game. It's a little dance at the beginning, and you know, if you play it correctly, you can capitalize majorly. So right off the bat, I mean, guys, look, it's turn 5, and we've taken down their Scarf Latias. I mean, and we've, yeah, like the progress that night, that lead night has made, and I've again revealed another one, revealed their Breloom. So now I can go into Gira, like a semi Breloom check. They bring out Skarmory, and you can't do anything with your Skarmory because I can just taunt you. Yeah, GG. All right, here's another game where I'm not using the same team, but it's against Cubic Skunk the Goat, so I wanted to include it. And also, I'm using a very similar team, so I'm using a Mixed Knight. The only two different ones, I have a Suicune and a Heatran on this team instead of Metagross and Gyarados, I believe. Yeah. Yep. Has to. Oh, that's kind of cool. Ice Punch, Luke. That's not Scarfed. Yeah, so just bring in Jirachi and take it down. In comes Heatran. Great nicknames, by the way. Great songs. Burn and Love's the classic. I just get up rocks because I have Shuka Berry, so he's got Shuka Berry too, so he's chill just staying in and clicking Earth Power. But this is the perfect time to bring in Hollow Blue, the Suicune, and take down the Heatran. Alright, in comes Tyranitar. So we're just gonna keep clicking Surf. Thunder Wave, that's interesting. And I do get the Parax there. But I am able to take out... Oh, damn. That really didn't do much. Wow. His T-Wave Tyranitar really doing some work there. So just go back into Jirachi. Take out the T-Tar. In comes Gyarados. And this is not good. So I go right into Flygon. Arc 170 Pilot. That Star Wars reference right there. Fire. And then last is Scissor. No, it's Glysker. Never mind. I go into Tyranitar just to sacrifice it. I do get a freeze with the Ice Punch, so I mean that is unfortunate. I think I would have won though, because I would have just outraged with Flygon and killed. Let's check. Glysker. It, no, it was actually a roll, so it did matter. But yeah, GG. It's unfortunate. Yeah. So yeah. Here's an example against an arrow lead. And here's what I mean by you should just click Fire Punch and hope to get a burn. Burn the arrow so you know the Stone Edge can't do much. And yeah, waste the turn of Taunt so you can just freely click Outrage on the rocks. In comes Lucario and they've already revealed their Scarfer. And it's fucking turn 4, bro. Like I can just capitalize off of that because they're choice locked in. Can just get up rocks for free. Super nice. Oh no, they just forfeit. So yeah, you can really just take the momentum in games. Yeah, so hope you guys liked the video. Got a lot of ideas for some future DPP content. Best year ever. Hope you guys have a good one. Take care.